Hello my happy aliens, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jojo Rarity and aloha. In today's video I'm gonna talking about my top 10 Disney movies. So actually I want to do like a Disney movies ranking, but then I realized there's too many Disney movies, so I just choose like top 10 Disney movies that I love. And I didn't include the Pixar ones because then it would be hard to choose. And maybe I'm gonna be doing a separate video with Disney Pixar movies. If you notice, my content is kind of Disney related because I did the Marvel ranking and then Star Wars ranking, which is also Disney. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing this kind of videos, and I noticed this month I only did like Disney videos. I kind of like doing theme kind of videos, like I did one with Halloween and then Christmas themed. And now this month like Disney themed, and next month's gonna be like Walking Dead kind of theme, but also Disney because I'm gonna be reviewing Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm kind of like a review channel now. I really enjoy doing this kind of content, and comment down below what contents you want to see me do because I'm open to anything except like maybe makeup videos because I'm not really into makeup. But today I have makeup on, which I rarely do. And so without further ado, let's get on with the video. By the way, if you want to know where I got this from Disneyland Paris because I live in Europe, so it's the closest I can get to. Yeah, I really miss this place and I just love Disneyland. So number 10 on my list is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And this movie is kind of underrated, I noticed. Comment down below if you actually know this movie. But like last year I started to watch like all the Disney movies like when they came out. So when I watched this movie, I kind of remember how much I loved it. And I just love the songs on it. They're so good. And this movie is kind of so dark. It's like so much darker than the other Disney movies. That's why I understand if people don't even like it because it's like so different, I think. And parents are kind of like snowflakes. Parents always want the movies to be like too much kid friendly. Like, I mean, I love the new movies also, like Frozen or Moana, but I know it's kind of really for kids mostly. But like the old Disney classics, they're like so different, especially this movie. So it's like kind of scary if you watch it. But I kind of miss this because I was born in the 90s, so maybe that's why I'm like that. I'm kind of getting older, so kind of miss the old Disney classics. I remember I have all the classic on VHS. And yeah, I've always been a Disney fan ever since. So number 9 is Beauty and the Beast. And I always liked Belle because she's like a bookworm, right? And I always loved reading ever since. And Belle is also kind of like, she's like a bookworm. And people find her weird because she's like so unique and has her own world. So that's why I kind of can relate to her. She's like the most relatable Disney princess and I think one of my favorites. And yeah, I also like the live action actually. That's also good. I think Emma Watson did a good job in playing her. She kind of looks like her. But of course the classics are always gonna be better. I just love it so much, like the storyline and the music of course, and you kinda can learn from it because it's like beauty is within. Number 8 is Aladdin, and of course it's like also people's favorite I think. And of course the storyline is so good also because he's like a criminal. I mean a thief. And then he met Jasmine and fell in love with her, and it's also kind of good message because you can also fall in love with someone even though you're so entirely different from each other. And why do you have to think about the wealth? You love a person because you just love them and you feel it. Jasmine can also fall in love with someone like him. So number 7 is Little Mermaid, and if you watched my video where I like dressed up as red hair characters, you probably know that she's one of my favorites. And too bad my hair isn't red anymore. It's kind of like pinkish. So I will like let it fade away and maybe I will dye it again, like a different color. I don't know because I like to experiment with hair colors. And even though I have a different hair color, but in the end I always want to have red hair. I always loved her hair and she's kind of like a rebel, and sometimes she does stupid mistakes. But come on, she's a mermaid, so I kind of give her that. Anyway, I also love like the animated Disney show. I always watched it before. And I also like Ariel too. I like Melody, she has like a cool character. I always don't like the part 2s in most movies, but this one was actually a good one. Number 6 is Pocahontas. I remember when I was in kindergarten, I dressed up like her because like it was so hard for me to choose who to kind of dress up as, like who looks similar than me, and I kind of choose her because like the other princesses are like so different than me. And I mean, I'm not Indian or like native, but I'm like half Asian. But still, I was kind of wanted to be like Pocahontas at the time. And this movie is also kind of doesn't have a happy ending. And that's why it's like so realistic, because if you notice on my list, I didn't include Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, or even Snow White, because like these Disney princesses like the most favorite of everyone, I think. But for me, like the endings are like kind of the same, the story. They lived happily ever after. But nowadays, who lives happily ever after? So like, this is so realistic. I mean, if you meet a guy and then marry him right away, it's not realistic sometimes. And nowadays, people kind of talk about this movie because how they portray like Native Americans, like it's so different or something. I don't know, because I never know the history of it, because I'm from Germany, I'm not American, so I don't know about that. And also when I was younger, I never knew that it's like based on a real person, because here in Germany we don't really learn about the history of the American natives. So yeah, it's kind of like really dark, I think. So number 5 is Hercules. It's like one of my top favorite guy characters, I think. It's like so funny in the beginning when he was like such a loser and like so clumsy, and suddenly turned out to be a hero. Kind of reminds me of Captain America. That's why when I first watched Captain America, kind of reminded me of Hercules. Like he was like so thin in the beginning, and suddenly grew up to be this kind of superhero that people look up to. It's kind of similar, and Chris Evans could totally play Hercules. Like before, I mean, I was kind of older now, but yeah, it kind of fits to him. She's so funny. And I like, she's not really like this damsel in distress. Like in the beginning she was, but she only pretended. But she don't need help from a man. And she's also like, oh, I don't want a man. I don't want to fall in love. I kind of relate to that. She's like so hard to get close to because she has like walls. Kind of like that. But later on, of course, Hercules tried so much to get to her. And he loved their relationship, I think, one of my favorites. And hey, this is so funny. He's such an awesome villain, I think. Also one of my favorites. Also, overall, the movie is so good, like the songs and everything. And like, I know they have like a live Hercules movies, but I never liked the kind of movies. Hoping maybe they're gonna do like a live remake, like with the songs. That'd be pretty cool to see. Number 4 is, of course, Mulan. I can't forget about her. She's like the first ever Disney Asian character. She's so cool. So when it came out, everyone wanted to be like her, and all the Asian kids out there, they kind of can relate to her, and like first time representing Asian culture, which is so cool to see if you're Asian. And not only that, first of all, she's Asian, but second of all, she's not a typical girly girl. She's so different than others. She's like, people, even now, like people always think that girls need to be in some certain ways, like they need to be at home cooking and doing dishes, something like that, why they can't fight and join the army, something like that. But she did that. It's like she rebelled against it, and it's like kind of like it because she's like this boyish type of girl. Number 3 is Lion King, and yeah, it's not number 1 because like 2 other movies that I love so much. But of course I have to include Lion King. It's like one of my child movies that I watched so many times. It's like my sister's favorite Disney movie. It's like the only anime movie on this list, I think. And oh my god, of course, it's so good. And at the same time, so sad. I don't only like Lion King 1. I like part 2, part 3. Like the first time ever, I like all the sequels because all of them are so good. And always gonna be in my heart, like the songs. Can You Feel Love Tonight? Or Circle of Life. It's so good. Number 2 is Tarzan. It's kind of like an underrated movie in my opinion. Before it was like number 1, but then it kind of changed when I turned into an adult. And keep on watching if you want to know the number 1 on this list. Yeah, like if you ask me what's my favorite Disney movie before, I always say Tarzan, because it's like the first movie that comes into my mind when I talk about Disney movies. And maybe because of the songs, they're so good, I think. Like Phil Collins, like the song, so I find it so good because he sings in German and English. I remember I read somewhere they make like the lyrics so he can sing it in English too, in German too. And yeah, You Be My Heart is so good. Like it's been such a long time since I watched this movie, I think. Like I bought the Blu-ray, but I never actually watched it again. And of course it's a bit dark and so sad because Tarzan didn't grow up with his parents. They died in the beginning, and the gorillas took him in. His son became one of them. It's just so sweet. And yeah, there's so many Tarzan movies out there, but I never liked them also. I don't know, they never like as good as the classic one. I know if they're ever gonna do a remake one, but I think there should be a remake with the songs, because with the songs always like a better remake, something like that. Number 1 is kind of obvious, of course, it's Lilo and Stitch, everyone! My baby. So I talked about Lilo and Stitch a couple of times if you watched my content before. and why I love it so much. It just kind of became when I was an adult, because when I was younger it was like just a normal movie for me, but now because as I grow up I kind of can relate it to me more, because like Stitch is an alien and I kind of like aliens. If you know, I'm an alien, and that's why he's like, when he's thinking he can't belong anywhere, and it's just so sad. I think like when I watch this now I was like cry. Even before, I mean, it's so sad because like Lilo was so young and she lost her parents, and like she grew up with a sister. It's all about family. That's why I love it so much. Like, I don't know if you're young and kind of understand more if you're an adult. That's why this movie is kind of for adults more. It's like about family, like Ohana, you don't leave the people behind, something like that. Like the best quote ever. I love it so much. Yeah, because it's kind of like the adopted Stitch, right? And it's kind of like a pet, but it's like he's different because he's an alien, so it's kind of like adopting him. And the family always grew more because like the two other aliens, they're also kind of adopted. And the end, they're like this big family. In the beginning was only Lilo and Nani, and then Nani had like her boyfriend, and now this aliens they have, which is so cute. It's like you're not alone anymore. Like you can always grow your family. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be related, blood related. It's like adopting a child, something like that. So you don't need to be sad and be alone. And that's why this movie really gets to me. Just don't take your family for granted. Don't underappreciate them, because blood, I mean, anyone could be your family. Doesn't have to be like blood related. Like you can be like your friend or your best friend or your pet animal. Like anyone you want to include in your family. And that's why this movie says it all about that. This is it. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you do, please give a thumbs up. Comment down below your top 10 favorite Disney movies. And also if you want me to do a Pixar top 10 Disney movies, I can do that. Or if you want me to do like new Disney movies, I can also do that, because I didn't include it on my list. But I love the new ones too, of course. But it's like those classics are like always been my favorite ones. So yeah, also don't forget to subscribe if you want to see me again. Don't forget to put on the post notifications so you know exactly when I upload. I upload every Wednesdays and Saturdays. So see you guys on my next video. Bye!